Hello, fellow Stoics. It's great to see you again on this journey of discovering the seemingly simple yet powerful habits of Stoicism. Today, I want you to take a moment to think about an interesting question. Have you ever wanted someone to miss you so much that they couldn't stop thinking about you, even when you weren't there? Like the hands of a clock ticking away, you're silently present in their minds from dawn to dusk. You've come to the right place, because today we're going to explore one of the greatest secrets of all: how to make yourself unforgettable. Not simply by creating a longing in them, but by making every moment you're gone an unfillable void. Have you ever realized how powerful your absence can be? Seneca once said, "Absence sharpens, while love in presence deepens." And that is what we're going to explore today. Imagine a good book that you can't put down, each page revealing fascinating secrets, making the reader want to keep turning the page. You are that book, and those around you will not be able to stop thinking about you, even when you are not around. We will go through 10 Stoic principles that will help you not only attract attention, but also make your absence deeply felt. For example, think of an hourglass. Each grain of sand that falls is a moment in time when you build your presence, steadily, slowly, but surely. And when the hourglass turns over, your absence will make it even clearer what remains in the minds of others. It's not just a little curiosity, but a distinct feeling of absence, something that cannot be replaced. So what's the secret? We'll dive into each principle, each one a complete piece in building an unforgettable image. But before we begin, I have a little challenge for you. Think about the words or actions that you want to leave a lasting impression on others tomorrow morning. It could be a short statement, a warm gesture, or a meaningful quote. Leave a comment below with your answers, because it would be interesting to see you participate and share. Don't forget, each section we explore today will help you understand more about the art of mastering emotions, presence, and even the moments when you are not present. Get ready, because this journey will not only change the way you interact, but also change the way you are remembered. Now, get ready to explore 10 powerful strategies of Stoicism and how it can make others crave your presence. Sounds mystical, right? But it's true. Trust me, Stoicism has been around for thousands of years, and it still holds true today. Let's talk about Seneca. He once said, "Sometimes it is brave to live." This quote is profound. It reminds us that bravery is not only about fighting adversity, but also about controlling ourselves. And that's exactly what we need to do right now. Let's dive into the first principle: self-control. Now, you might be wondering, why does self-control make someone miss you more? It's all about showing that you have improved yourself. That's a powerful attraction in any relationship. It's not dependence, it's independence. That makes you unique and attractive. Think of it as an unspoken secret between you and those around you. When you have the ability to be independent, you become more than just a person in a relationship. You become a complete and independent individual. Let me give you a more personal example. Imagine you are in a great relationship, and instead of being clingy all the time, you take a completely different approach. You are not someone who is constantly looking for attention or constantly texting and calling to stay connected. No. Instead, you are living your life, confidently and fully. You are making time for yourself, pursuing your own interests, and taking care of yourself. This makes a huge difference. When you are independent, not needing the constant presence of others to feel secure, you unintentionally create a magical attraction. Your partner no longer sees you as just a companion, but they begin to admire you for the confidence and strength in the way you live. You are not dependent on them for your happiness, and this creates a healthy space in the relationship. Let me explain. Space here is not physical distance, but personal growth. You allow both of you to grow and mature. When you are not always available, it does not make the other person feel abandoned, but on the contrary, it makes them more curious. They wonder, what are you doing when you are not here? And when they think of you, the image of you, self-possessed, calm, and strong, appears clearly in their mind. This not only makes them miss you, but also makes them feel a deeper admiration. Now imagine that you are someone who uses your self-possessed self in every moment. You do not push the other person away, but but instead, you draw them in with greater respect and admiration. They begin to realize that you do not need them to complete you, and this makes them attracted to the independent, vibrant, and confident person you are. And here's the coolest thing. When you learn to be independent, you not only build a better relationship, but you also leave a lasting impression on your partner. They will always think of you, not just today, but for many days to come. Remember, every time you cultivate your independence, you are also building a stronger, more lasting connection. A relationship based not just on presence, but on mutual respect and admiration. So don't be afraid of being independent. It doesn't distance you from others. On the contrary, it makes you the center of attraction, making others unable to stop thinking about you. Control emotions, number 2. Now you might be thinking, control your emotions. I just want them to remember me. Well, here's a secret. Mastering your emotions is like holding the reins of a strong horse. It directs the energy of your relationships in the direction you want. Imagine this scenario. Every time you interact, you are calm, composed, even when the conversation gets heated or takes an unexpected turn. This level of emotional control is not only impressive, but also attractive. Why? Because, as Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind. No external event recognizes this, and you will find power when you demonstrate such power. You leave a lasting impression by managing your reactions. You create an aura of mystery and depth. Your partner begins to ponder what is going on in their mind. They are used to the reactions that drive your behavior. But now you are unruffled, serene. This newfound calmness makes them curious about your inner world, draws them closer, and keeps them guessing. Now, mastering your emotions doesn't mean you become a robot. It's about responding instead of reacting. This subtle shift means that when you do express your emotions, they'll be much more thoughtful, sincere, and impactful. And guess what? Then they'll miss the warmth of your intentional affection when you're not around. So stay calm, stay present, be attentive, and observe when they start to wonder and come back. Remember, keep your emotional cards close to your chest. Maybe leave them something to think about, a whisper of, "Will you think of me tomorrow?" My strong Stoic friends, listen to the second thing I want to say today. Control your emotions. Yes, control. Control your emotions. Sounds simple, but have you really mastered it? You may think you have it under control, but I want you to remember something very important that Marcus Aurelius said, "Your life is now, take what is left and live it right." Someone looks down on you. That's their problem. Everything changes, and you can't control what happens out there, but you can control how you react. Remember, change is inevitable, and your emotions shouldn't be stirred up by external events that you can't avoid. I want you to imagine this. Controlling your emotions is like holding the reins of a strong horse. It charges forward with its power, but you decide where it will go. That is freedom. That is power. Now, imagine you are sitting across from someone in a difficult conversation. The words start to get heated, the tension builds, but you do not lose your cool. You do not get carried away by the other person's emotions. You quietly observe, keeping your composure like an unshakable wall. You see, when you control your emotions, you not only create admiration from the other person, but you also leave a deep impression. Why? Because as Marcus Aurelius said, you have control over your mind. No external event can shake you. This creates a kind of invisible power, an aura that others cannot help but be attracted to. Let me give you a more familiar example. You're driving down the street, stuck in traffic, the horn is blaring, the driver next to you rolls down his window in frustration and starts yelling at you. But you don't respond, you don't get angry, you just sit there, calm, as if all the chaos around you can't touch you. And then, when the other person notices that you're not reacting, they start wondering, why isn't he reacting? Why is he so calm? That's what's attractive. Your calmness makes people think, makes them wonder what's going on in your head. Remember, controlling your emotions doesn't mean you become an emotionless machine. It means you respond consciously instead of reacting unconsciously. You don't get dragged along by the flow of other people's emotions. You decide when and how you're going to express your emotions. And when you do that, your emotions become weighty, valid. That's when people really pay attention. Let me add to the fun of this. When you don't react right away, when you hold back a little bit of emotion, people are intrigued. They wonder what's going on in his/her head. And that makes you more mysterious, more interesting. You're keeping your emotional cards close to your chest, not revealing too much, just leaving a little bit for them to think about and wonder about. That's the charm of calm. Imagine you've just had a conversation with someone. You didn't say much. You didn't reveal all your emotions, but what you said was accurate, sincere, and powerful. And when you leave, they'll remember your words, think about them, and can't help but be curious about your inner world. Remember, controlling your emotions is not just about avoiding bad situations, it's about creating deep attraction. You stay calm, stay true to your values, and leave a strong impression on those around you. That calmness is power. And sometimes just a small question, like a whisper, "Will you think of me tomorrow?" is enough to make them think forever. So, will you hold the reins of your emotions, or let them pull you along? The decision is yours. A little mystery goes a long way in the game of love. Intentional communication. Think of communication as a subtle game in which you are the main player. And yes, intentional communication is the secret weapon you have ready to unleash at any time. Have you ever wondered how just a few words can pique curiosity and make someone want more from you? Yes, that's the power of intentional communication. It's not just random words that are said, but carefully chosen, meaningful sentences that stick in the minds of others. This is something the Stoics understood long ago. Seneca once said, "What you say determines how you are remembered." You may think that's a simple statement, but it holds a profound truth. In every interaction, from everyday small talk to deeper conversations, every word you say can leave a mark. Imagine this. You don't just speak to fill space. You speak to create a connection, to make the other person feel your presence, even when you're not there. For example, when you talk about an exciting trip you just took, you don't just recount every detail like a boring diary entry. Instead, you paint a vivid picture in their mind. I remember standing on that cliff, the wind blowing across me as if nature was whispering something to me. At that moment, I just knew I had to share this with you. You're not just talking about the trip. You're inviting them into your world, making them curious, feeling your emotions. Intentional communication is not about manipulation. It's about creating a powerful connection. It's like reading a compelling book. There are passages that hold your attention, and you want to turn the page. You are that book. By choosing your words carefully and making each sentence meaningful, you make the other person want to continue reading more about you. And when the conversation is over, they are still thinking about what you said. Think of conversations you've had with someone where just a few sentences stuck with you. It could be an old friend, an ex-lover, or a stranger on a long flight. They didn't say much, but each sentence had weight, making you stop and think. That's the power of intentional communication. And there's one more important thing: absence. This is the mysterious element that intentional communication brings. Even when you're not there, what you said resonates in their minds. It's like you left a silent yet powerful melody in your head, and they keep humming it. They start craving your presence not just because of what you said, but because of how you said it, how you connected. You left a mark without trying to be there all the time. Another example in everyday life? Imagine yourself in a conversation about future plans. Instead of saying something boring like, "I want to achieve this, that, try this," there's something I've always thought about, which is how we can turn small dreams into big realities, just like how I learned to ride a bike. At first, it was full of stumbles and uncertainty, but little by little, the feeling of freedom when controlling the handlebars became natural. I believe life is the same. Immediately, you make the conversation more lively, meaningful, and lingering. That's what intentional communication is all about. It's not about saying too much, but choosing to speak with deep purpose. It makes others crave to hear more from you because they realize that each sentence you say carries value, not just empty words. And when you're not around, what you shared still lingers, making them want to learn more, want to connect more. So remember, intentional communication is not just about making you sound better. It's about weaving curiosity, creating a connection that keeps you in their mind even when you're not around. The fourth thing we're going to explore today is accepting absence. It may sound counterintuitive, but trust me, this can be a whole new twist in your relationship. Have you ever thought that accepting, even valuing the time apart can bring you and your partner closer? Let me explain. Absence is actually more powerful than you think. When you're not together, it doesn't mean you're losing connection. On the contrary, absence can amplify the feeling of missing someone. Think about it. When your partner can't see you every day, they start to miss you in the most familiar moments. They may notice that your smile, the little stories you share, or even just your presence has become something special in their lives. It's this distance that makes them appreciate you more, and that actually deepens the bond when you reunite. Don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting you disappear completely and wait for your partner to realize what's missing. It's all about space. You don't have to cling to your partner 24/7, as Epicurus once said. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. Sometimes, for a relationship to thrive, you have to free yourself from the need to be constantly close. Imagine this. Instead of texting each other non-stop when you're not together, give them some breathing space. Let the silence between you naturally arouse curiosity, because silence can be your strongest ally. When you're not a constant part of their daily lives, you're no longer a predictable part. You become a little bit of a mystery. And that, my friend, is what makes people wait. Like when you read a great book, do you stop halfway through to imagine the next part? That's what happens when you give your relationship a little space. They'll think about you, wonder what you're doing, and start looking forward to the next conversation or meeting. The wait creates longing, and when you return, the connection is fresher, stronger than ever. A more intimate example. Think of a smartphone. It's incredibly useful, but if you keep checking it, constantly relying on it, no matter how useful it is, you'll eventually feel bored with it. But if you temporarily put it out of reach, when you come back and need it, it suddenly becomes much more valuable and useful. The same goes for relationships. Embracing absence helps you learn to be comfortable with the swing between connectedness and loneliness. This is not only good for your relationship, but it also makes you a more interesting person. You learn to appreciate your alone time, not needing someone else to feel complete. When you do this, you become more attractive to others, because you're no longer someone who needs them to survive. And that's really powerful. When you are together after a period of separation, everything becomes fresh and more alive. Little things like a look, a smile, or even the silence between you have their own value. So don't be afraid of absence. Let it be a bridge that brings you closer together. Remember, absence is not distance, but space to grow. And when you reunite, joy will explode. You are no longer a familiar part of them, but a highlight. It is these moments that make each meeting memorable, each time together more precious than ever. So cherish the moments apart, because when you do, you are giving your relationship a chance to grow and deepen. Let them remember you, so that every time they are away from you, they realize the value of each moment together. And now we come to the fifth point: mindfulness and interaction. Have you ever wondered how to make your presence so profound that even when you leave, others still feel your absence? Imagine walking into a room, not simply being present, but fully present. Every word, every smile, every look you give leaves an indelible mark. That is the power of mindfulness. Mindfulness is not just about being there physically. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Live as if each act were your last." And this is what we should apply to every interaction. When you sit across from someone, give them your full attention. Listen to them with all your attention, not just with your ears, but with your heart. Imagine yourself as a camera lens, focusing only on the subject in front of you, without being distracted by external things. You become the person who makes them feel seen and heard. Let me imagine a very simple situation. You are sitting in a coffee shop with a close friend. No phones, no other distractions, just you and that person. When you listen, you are not only listening to what they say, but you are also feeling their mood, their pace. Every story they tell, every moment you respond to is woven into the air. Even if you leave afterwards, they will remember the feeling of being understood by you. You have created a bond that not everyone can create. Mindfulness in interaction not only makes every conversation more alive, it also makes every moment memorable. Think of a friend you always look forward to seeing again, not because they are so special or different, but because you feel that they truly care about you when you are with them. That is the magic of mindfulness. Take the smallest moments of everyday life, for example. A mother plays with her child, not just casually or just sitting there watching, but really focusing on every movement of the child. She can remember every smile, every gesture of her child, and that not only deepens the mother-child relationship, but also leaves a mental imprint. The child will always remember that every moment with the mother was full of love and care, even when the mother is not around. Or another example. Do you remember the last time you had a conversation with someone who, just by looking at their eyes, the way they listened, made you feel like you were the center of the world? That is the power of mindfulness. They didn't just sit there, they were present. And when you leave, you realize that the conversation was different. You remember them because they left a strong mental imprint. We often think that to be remembered, we have to do extraordinary things. But the magic lies in everyday interactions. Every word, every gesture, every glance is an opportunity to make others feel appreciated. Consider mindfulness as a secret. Every time you are fully present, you leave a mark in the minds of others. A mark that even when you are not there, they will feel your absence. So, how do you make every moment memorable? It's simple. Treat every conversation as the last time you'll ever talk to that person. When you're present, be fully present. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. Make every interaction an irreplaceable moment, and people will remember you not just for being there, but for being there. And we're halfway there. If you're still watching, that means this content has resonated with you. If you haven't liked our videos or subscribed to our channel, now's a great time to do so. We really appreciate your support, and it helps us continue to create quality content that you'll love. My wonderful Stoics, we're halfway there on this video. If you are still here, it means that what I share is really touching your heart. And if you have not yet liked or subscribed to our channel, I would really appreciate it if you could do it now. Your support is really a great source of motivation, helping us continue to create meaningful content for you. And don't forget to comment "I change strongly" below. This is not just a declaration, but an affirmation that you have started a perfect new day. Let everyone know that you have taken action and will continue to maintain this good habit tomorrow. Because only when you truly affirm the positive, the whole universe will conspire to help you succeed. Now, let's learn together the sixth principle: consistent in communication. This is not just a normal step, but a turning point in making others remember us. This is important, and you definitely want to nail it. Being consistent in your communication doesn't mean you have to spam messages all day, nor does it mean showing up so often that people feel overwhelmed. In fact, it's a subtle art of how you build a steady, trustworthy presence. Imagine this. You're the person who always sends a good morning text. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, it's just a simple greeting. But when it happens regularly, day after day, that regularity becomes an integral part of the recipient's rhythm. It could be a greeting, a good evening, or a short text about a story you want to share. When you create a regular rhythm of communication, you're actually weaving yourself into their daily routine. And here's the best part: when you suddenly stop, they feel it. As Seneca said, regularity is the sign of wisdom in social intercourse. This regularity not only creates a sense of trust, but also makes you a source of comfort in the midst of life's chaos. Sometimes life is so chaotic, and just a small message from you is enough to make them feel safe. You are like a lighthouse, not shining constantly, but always there, shining at important moments. Think back to the feeling when you were waiting for a message from someone. Perhaps it was a daily good morning greeting from a close friend, or a midday check-in from someone. When that message didn't come, did you notice that you felt something was missing? It's because they've become a routine part of your day. And when they're not there, the void becomes apparent. For example, Let's say you and your partner always send good night texts every night. It doesn't have to be anything big, but it becomes a habit, a small connection that you both build. Then suddenly, one evening, there's no text. How does that feel? A little empty, right? That's the power of consistency. Your presence, even in the smallest ways, becomes an emotional anchor for the other person. When you're not there, they feel it very strongly. But the great thing is that when you return to consistency, you not only fill the void, but you make them look forward to it more. It's like a morning coffee. When you're used to having it every day, if you skip one, you feel like something is wrong. The rhythm and stability you provide becomes something that the other person naturally depends on. But remember, consistency doesn't mean mechanical repetition. You can add little variations to keep your communication fresh and engaging. It might be a greeting one day, an interesting story the next, or simply asking how the person's day was. The important thing is that, no matter what you say, you're always present, always there when they need you. Ultimately, you don't want to be remembered occasionally. You want to be an essential presence in their lives. Someone whose absence, even for a moment, leaves a void that is hard to fill. That's the magic of consistent communication, a quiet but powerful force. And trust me, when you do this, you will find that they will start to remember you in the most ordinary moments. Now, my fellow Stoics, is the time to ask a really important question. How to live a purposeful life. It's when you stop sitting around waiting for someone to fill your time, and instead, you go out there, seize every moment, and let your purpose and passion guide you. When you live a purposeful life, you not only become a more dynamic, vibrant person, but you also become more attractive, more profound. Think about it, don't we always remember people who are full of energy, always making positive changes? Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "When you don't know where you are going, no wind is the right wind." Think about it. If you don't have a clear goal, how can you navigate your life? But when you know where you are going, every step becomes powerful and motivating. You are not only the one steering the wheel of your life, but also an inspiration to those around you. Imagine you are sitting with someone, talking about the volunteer projects you are pursuing. Or maybe you have just started a new creative hobby like painting or making crafts. You are not only telling a story, but you are expressing your passion and excitement from deep within. Your eyes light up when you talk about these things, and it not only makes your story more interesting, but it also inspires the person you're talking to. Suddenly, you're not just telling a story, you're making people want to get up, take action, and pursue their own passions. Let's take a closer look. Do you know how it feels when you see an old friend? They're full of energy, they've just finished a new course, discovered a new land, or are involved in a community project. When you hear them talk, you can feel their enthusiasm, and it makes you remember them. Not just because of what they say, but because of the energy they radiate. They make you feel like life is interesting, and you want to be a part of it. This is not just about human connection, but also about the natural attraction that comes from someone living a purposeful life. Now, imagine that you are that person. You are living with passion, with a clear purpose, and every day you are growing, changing, and creating. When you live like that, people around you cannot help but be drawn to you. They will remember you, not just for who you are, but for who you are constantly growing. You are on your own journey, and that makes you attractive, special. And the best part, when you live with purpose, even when you are not with your significant other, they still feel you in their life. They will remember the deep conversations you had, the way you talked about your passions, and will feel the absence when those conversations stop. This is not only because they love you, but also because they admire the way you live your life. Imagine it. Your life is a constant adventure. You are not waiting for miracles to happen, you are creating them. And when you do, your life becomes a beacon not only for yourself, but for others. They will want to join you, to be a part of that journey, because you make life more interesting, more inspiring. So, my Stoics, stop waiting. Live with purpose, let your life be a testament to your passion and your desire. By doing so, you will not only make a difference for yourself, but also for those around you. And when you do, remember, You are not only living in the present, but you are also carving yourself into their minds, tomorrow and forever. Number 8. Emotional moderation. Have you ever wondered how to keep your emotions in balance and still be remembered by others? It is about creating a very subtle charm where you control your emotions but do not let them dominate you. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to become like the person who hurt you." This does not mean that you are indifferent, but that you respond to every situation with calmness, depth, and awareness. Imagine you're in an argument with your partner. Instead of immediately reacting with impulsive words or overwhelming emotions, you take a deep breath, you think for a few seconds, then respond with calmness and maturity. What happens? The other person will probably be surprised and even respect you more for not letting your emotions take over. This action not only keeps the conversation at a healthy level, but also creates a strong impression of maturity in communication. Now imagine you're away from your partner. How do you make them miss you? Not by sending them text messages all the time or calling them whenever you feel empty. Instead, you choose to show your affection in a subtle way. Sending a short but thoughtful message that shows you care without taking over their entire mind. You give them space to feel your absence, and your control of your emotions makes them think of you more. What does this look like? Like a cup of hot tea on a rainy day. Warm enough to soothe, but not so much that it boils over into a loud boil. Think about times when you feel overwhelmed by someone. Someone can be so enthusiastic, so over the top, that sometimes you feel like you're being swallowed up by them. What is emotional moderation? It's knowing when to be genuine in your expressions of affection and when to step back to give the other person space to breathe and miss you. It's like a dance between two people. If you keep stepping on each other's toes, you'll lose the rhythm and the harmony will be lost. But if you walk in a steady, rhythmic manner with just the right amount of space, the other person will always feel you gracefully present in their mind. Moderation doesn't mean being cold. You don't have to be as distant as an icy wall, but you don't have to be as explosive as a fire. Be the stability the other person needs. In difficult times, instead of reacting violently or getting overly upset, you choose to stay calm and composed. Like a rock in a raging river, you stand firm and are not swept away by emotions. Others will look at you and admire your steadfastness, something that is attractive and not easily achieved by everyone. For example, when you face a major issue in a relationship, instead of losing your temper, you handle it with patience. You create space for anticipation, making the other person crave your feedback, but not in a possessive way. This creates a sense of respect and a bit of mystery, making the other person wonder, what is she thinking? So master the way you express your emotions, not too aggressively, but not too indifferently. Create the perfect balance like a piece of music, where each note is played deliberately, not too fast, not too slow. People will recognize that you are not just a person who brings emotions. You bring peace and depth. This is how you make a lasting impression and make people remember you. The 9th thing is called resilience in adversity. Imagine this. Amidst all the chaos of life, the quietest moments are where your resilience is truly tested. That's when you realize your true strength. Not when everything is going smoothly, but when adversity strikes and you stand firm. And you know the best thing about overcoming difficulties with courage? It not only makes you stronger, but it makes people remember you. Yes, resilience in adversity is what makes you an unforgettable presence, a pillar of trust in the eyes of those around you. Imagine, life suddenly throws you a blow, a job loss, a family crisis, or even a failed relationship. Many people would be crushed and disheartened, but you are different. Not only do you get through it, you do it with a smile and determination. You get up, adjust your course, and keep going. That's resilience. As Seneca once said, a diamond cannot be polished without friction, nor can a man be perfected without trials. The truth is, when you overcome ups and downs with resilience, you leave a lasting impression not only on yourself, but on others. Now imagine a romantic relationship. You and your partner may be apart, but every time they think of you, they don't just remember the smiles and the romantic evenings. They remember how you handled adversity. When things get tough, You don't panic, you don't whine, you just quietly deal with the problem. You make others feel safe around you. You become a pillar of stability. This isn't something you can fake or buy. It comes from deep within, from your resilience, and it's something your partner won't forget. Have you ever lost a job? It can be overwhelming. But instead of sitting quietly and waiting, you immediately start applying for new jobs. You turn a crisis into an opportunity. When your partner sees this, they not only respect you, but they also see the strength within you. They will remember you, not just for surviving, but for how admirably you overcame the challenge. Or imagine you are facing a family crisis. While everyone around you is in turmoil and stress, you are the calm one, the one who keeps things stable. You know how to control your emotions and support others without getting caught up in the spiral of anxiety. This makes others see you as a source of positive energy, and no one can forget that. Resilience in adversity is also the ability to maintain a positive spirit even when things are not going your way. Yes, everyone can be cheerful when things are going well, but your true potential is shown when you remain optimistic in the darkest of times. It's when you find the light amidst the darkest clouds, when you not only persevere, but also find a way to make things better. Your partner will remember this positivity because it gives them a sense of security, hope, and the feeling that they can overcome any challenge with you by their side. Imagine the next time you two meet. The moment they realize you're not just someone to share the good times with, but someone who can face and overcome the hard times with them. You've become a reliable person, a true pillar in their life. They'll feel safer thinking about you, and your relationship will deepen. What makes you memorable? Your resilience. The ability to face challenges without breaking down, to keep growing despite adversity. When you demonstrate that you can face whatever life throws at you, it not only makes a powerful impression, but it also makes you a model of strength and dependability. Others will remember you as an inspiration, not just by your words, but by your actions. And you know what's the best part? Every time you face adversity with resilience, you not only make your own life better, but you also make others feel that they can do the same. You're not just a survivor, you're an inspiration. This, trust me, is something no one will ever forget. So remember, resilience isn't just about facing adversity. It's about showing others that you're strong, dependable, and that they can always count on you. Your resilience will always make them remember you, not just as someone they loved, but as someone who gave them strength in life. And now, let's move on to number 10. Consistency. This is not a boring quality as many people think, but is actually what makes you irreplaceable. Can you think of something that makes a person unforgettable, even when they are not around? It's consistency. What makes someone deeply memorable? It's predictability, and at the same time, enough mystery to remain attractive. Consistency in character is not just about keeping your principles from yesterday to today and even tomorrow. It's about being someone people can trust because they know you won't suddenly change or do something that will surprise them in a negative way. Epicurus once said, "First, tell yourself what you want to be, and then do what you have to do." That's consistency. When you do this every day, you become a rock that others can lean on, a source of comfort in a world that is constantly changing. Now imagine this in a relationship. You are someone who keeps your word, who fulfills your commitments with kindness and respect. Not only that, but you do it consistently, regularly, and without breaking a promise. This doesn't just make you a good partner, it makes you someone your partner trusts and values deeply. This stability creates emotional security, which is rare in today's society, where everyone changes with the seasons. But does that mean you'll become predictable and boring? Not at all. The trick is to keep your core values consistent, but still have little surprises to add some excitement. You can be someone your partner knows will be there when they need you, but at the same time, you can throw in a little unexpected spice every now and then. For example, plan a surprise picnic, or send them a small gift for no particular reason other than to make them happy. These little surprises create the perfect balance between predictability and spontaneity. You become like a good book, that they can predict the main plot, but there are always unexpected parts that keep them curious and excited to read more. You're a rock, but there are always little sparks that keep the relationship from getting stale. Think about it. If you can be the person who, in the toughest of times, your partner turns to you because they know you're the one they can lean on. But at the same time, when things are going well, they still look forward to those surprise moments from you, the little things that make their life richer and more memorable. Not only are you reliable, but you're also the one who keeps the relationship lively. For example, imagine sending a surprise text in the middle of the day, just to say you're thinking of them, for no particular reason, just because they're on your mind. Or on the weekend, instead of boring plans, you suggest exploring a new neighborhood, trying a restaurant you've never been to. These things, while small, are moments that your partner will remember forever. By combining stability with small surprises, you are not only a rock in their lives, but also a breath of fresh air on dull days. And this, I promise, will make your absence never be forgotten. When you are not around, they will crave your presence because you have built a deep foundation of trust while adding unexpected joy. Look at everyday life. The people we remember most are the ones who make us feel safe, but can also bring new joy. You can be a person who is steadfast in the eyes of others, but never a bore. Your presence gives them the feeling that everything is stable. But there's also always something to look forward to. So you don't have to choose between being reliable or being interesting. You can be both. It's this combination, this mix of steadiness and surprise, that makes you unforgettable. Keep being consistent in the important things, but don't forget to add a little spice to keep things fresh. And now, before you go, don't forget to like if you found this video helpful, and subscribe if you're not already a part of this community. We're sharing more about Stoicism and how it can change your life. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think about consistency and how to maintain a balance between stability and surprise. Who knows? Maybe your comment will be the first thing someone thinks of tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching, everyone. Continue to practice Stoic principles in your daily life. And don't forget that the journey to being unforgettable starts with being memorable. Consistency isn't just about habits, it's about how we show our value every day. So keep shining, keep resilient, and be ready to be the person others want to have around, even when you're not there.